This program is brought to you by the National Association of Insurance and Financial Advisors, promoting political advocacy, education, and the ethical conduct of its more than 50,000 members nationwide.
Hello, I'm Terry Headley, NAFA President-elect. I want to take this opportunity to share a few moments with you to discuss NAFA's government relations, political action, and political involvement programs. As you know, NAFA's fundamental reason to exist and its primary role are to serve as the advocate and the voice for the agent advisor and for the clients we serve. I would like to indulge you for a minute in an exercise which I think illustrates how NAFA's advocacy directly connects to your bottom line. Please take out a pen and a sheet of paper and write down the initials of the 3 largest clients that you have ever secured in your career. Once you have done that, next to those 3 initials, write down the financial need that was met, the financial problem that was solved, or the financial goal that was achieved as part of this planning process. Next to that, write down the product solution that was implemented. What product recommendation did you use to achieve that financial goal, to solve that financial problem, to meet that financial need? Now here is the question on the table. Did that product solution or recommendation have any inherent tax advantages or benefits associated with it? I would submit to you that the answer is a resounding yes. Now, if those tax advantages or tax benefits were removed, restricted, or eliminated, what would be the outcome? Deal or no deal? You see, our entire business exists as a quirk or aberration in the Internal Revenue Code. NAFA was founded in 1890 for advocacy purposes, to combat replacement and to prevent the repeal of the anti-rebating statutes in the states. NAFA still exists today, over 100 years later, for advocacy reasons. You know, sometimes I feel like we are complacent and take for granted the unique role we play in the economic fabric of our country. In fact, I have stated repeatedly, at any time we could literally be taxed, legislated, or regulated out of business. You know, NAFA not only created, but continues to protect and defend the tax advantages and benefits of our products. To me, it is black and white. No NAFA, no industry. It's that fundamental and that serious. What I would like to do at this time is to establish 3 basic premises with you that represent the economic and political realities of our current environment. Number 1, there is no such thing as a neutral piece of legislation. All legislation produces winners and it produces victims. We have the opportunity to shape our own destiny and decide which side of that equation we want to be on. The second premise, 1/3 of all tax expenditures in this country are within the insurance and financial services industry. That means that 1 out of every $3 of potential tax revenue that could flow into the U.S. Treasury resides within the insurance and financial services industry. The Joint Committee on Taxation refers to these as lost revenues, an expectation that this money belongs to the government and not the owners of our products. The number 1 tax expenditure in the country is the whole spectrum of qualified retirement plans: pensions, profit sharing, 401ks, simples, SEPs, IRAs, 403bs, etc. Tax-deductible contributions and tax-deferred investment or interest earnings. The second largest tax expenditure is that of employee benefit programs. That is, tax-deductible premiums paid by an employer that are not treated as income to the employee and for the most part are tax-free benefits to the employee and dependents. The third largest tax expenditure, well, that's Section 101A of the Internal Revenue Code. That is the tax-free status of life insurance death proceeds paid to a named beneficiary. Number 4 tax expenditure, the tax-deferred inside buildup. The tax-deferred accumulations within permanent cash value life insurance and annuity accumulation products. The fifth tax expenditure is a little bit more removed, but still is within our industry for those of you who are engaged in general securities or offer mutual funds to your clients. And that is the preferential tax treatment of long-term capital gains, which are currently taxed like qualified dividends at a maximum tax rate of 15%. So there you have it, the top 5 tax expenditures that are in this country with the exception of mortgage loan interest, which is a sacred cow that will probably never be touched by Congress. Now at this point, I want to shine the light on a couple of issues that I think you need to be aware of. The first is what we call the 3 thin threads of our core product, life insurance. The ability under Section 101A to have the death proceeds received tax-free by a beneficiary or a trust. That is being threatened at this very point in time. The second thin thread is that of the tax-deferred accumulation inside of a permanent life insurance policy. On no less than 14 occasions in the past, Congress has attempted to tax the inside buildup only to have it defeated thanks to NAIFA's involvement and intervention. Can you imagine your clients receiving an IRS Form 1099 each year for the incremental increase in the cash values of their life insurance or annuity products? The third thin thread is the ability to remove the proceeds from the estate of the decedent with proper estate planning techniques, such as third-party ownership or the ownership of life insurance by an irrevocable insurance trust. Again, at any time, any one of these threads could snap and basically decimate or destroy the life insurance product as we know it. One of the commitments that was made during the campaign process was that Congress would reinstate the pay-go rules, the pay-as-you-go system. Pay-go very simply means that if you have a spending increase in one area, you have to find spending cuts in another area. On the tax side, if you have tax reduction in one area, you have to find a tax increase or find additional revenue to pay for that tax cut to make everything neutral in an effort to make sure that the budget becomes balanced over time. These pay-go rules pose a severe challenge and threat to our business. I mentioned earlier that we exist because of a quirk in the Internal Revenue Code. And one of the things being looked at under the pay-go rules is potential revenue raisers. Because our industry represents 1 out of every $3 of potential tax revenue that could flow into the U.S. Treasury. For example, we may see such proposals that would start to limit or restrict or cap the amount of life insurance death proceeds under Section 101A that could be received tax-free by a beneficiary or trust. Let me repeat that. For example, we may see such proposals that would start to limit or restrict or cap the amount of life insurance death proceeds under Section 101A that could be received tax-free by a beneficiary or trust. For example, under income means testing, or LIFO, last in, first out tax treatment, for loans, withdrawals, or dividends, we could witness a serious undermining of the current tax treatment of life insurance and annuity products. We also may see some type of restriction or limitation on the amount of tax-deferred accumulation that would exist within the life insurance product or even an annuity product. I don't think Congress will remove it entirely, but they could put caps or limitations on the amount that could be accumulated within these products. These revenue-raising ideas present real and legitimate threats to our industry and our business. And obviously, that would be detrimental to our clients in their financial planning efforts. I want to tell you about another issue that occurred back a few years ago. I truly believe it was one of NAIFA's greatest moments in the history of our association. And that is on the issue of commission disclosure, which flew below the radar screen until NAIFA spotted it and took action. Without NAIFA's involvement, today every one of you would be disclosing your commissions at the point of sale to your clients on any type of insurance product before you could secure the application. Regrettably, compensation disclosure and transparency regulations have resurfaced in several states recently. NAIFA's policy position is to disclose the total cost structure of the insurance product, but to solely isolate the commission is a deterrent in the planning process. So these were great victories, great wins for not only NAIFA members, but for your clients as well, and I wanted to share them with you. Finally, I want to talk to you about your engagement, your active participation in terms of NAIFA's advocacy programs. As you know, advocacy is not a spectator sport. It is not something that we just go and outsource. It requires the active engagement of each and every one of our members across this great federation, including you. Never has the time been more critical. It is time to get off the sidelines. It is time to get suited up and enter the game. First of all, there's IFAPAC. Currently, only 23% of our members are participating in the PAC. That is truly an unacceptable level. We need to expand the horizontal base of IFAPAC and grow that participation from 23% to 50% as soon as we can get there. And there is no time like the present. Never have the stakes been higher. This country's fiscal and monetary policies are not trending in our favor. I think the rule of thumb here is that you should contribute 1% of the gross revenues flowing into your practice from insurance-based products to IFAPAC every year. Second is APIC, our grassroots political involvement committee. We need to reestablish our infrastructure, rebuild and reconstitute our grassroots network to the point of not having just 1,500 key contacts in our federal database. We need to grow that to 3,000 or 4,500 grassroots and grass tops contacts. We need to get to a minimum of 6 NAIFA members deep for every member of Congress, each representative of the U.S. House of Representatives and each U.S. Senator. And there is no excuse, no reason why that shouldn't be done. We need to strengthen our relationships with our lawmakers. One of the key measurements of success should be how many in-district constituent group meetings are taking place back home. That's where the rubber meets the road. That's where we can have an impact, and that's where we can be effective. We must get our message out and advocate our positions on our issues. The next thing that needs your engagement that you need to take seriously are the Gov Alerts that come from NAIFA headquarters through our new color-coded government relations communications. You must respond to each and every one. It only takes a few minutes of your time. Congressional offices tell us that for every one response they get, that is the equivalent of 500 constituents back home expressing their views. Take a look at NAIFA's Legislative Action Center and the CapWiz program that links to that. You can forward Gov Alerts to your business associates and your office colleagues in order to get them to participate as well. This is how we will leverage our real-time response rate and get it to acceptable levels, which will really have an impact on Capitol Hill. You know, we are the last line of defense between our clients' ability to achieve financial independence or a dependency upon the federal government. You are the impact player in the financial lives of your clients. You make a significant difference in their lives. I think we should take that responsibility very seriously. We are in a caring and compassionate business. We are engaged in a very high calling, and I am proud of what we do day in and day out on behalf of 75 million American families.
Thank you for participating in this program. For more information regarding products, programs, services, and other NAIFA member benefits, visit www.naifa.org.